Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the September meeting for Seniors Council Douglas County. My name is Luke Thornton. I am your WebEx host today. If you have any technical problems or issues, you can message me directly using the chat feature, which is down in the bottom right corner of your screen. And once you've opened it, make sure you have selected to send them chats to the host. That's me. And I will be able to relay any questions you have to our presenters. Without any further ado, I'll hand this over to Gretchen Lopez. Gretchen, you are muted.
There we are. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks, Luke. And welcome, as Luke said, to the September meeting of the Seniors Council of Douglas County. September already, so fall is fast approaching, though I have to say those 90-degree days sometimes has us fooled. So looking forward to some cooler weather. I'm sure we all are. If you've joined us before, you know that our virtual meetings wouldn't be possible without the generosity of the county and our county commissioners. So we thank them for their continuing support in bringing educational programming to you each month. And now for a few announcements before our presentation today. We have several important dates to share with you, so you may want to have a calendar or planner handy to make some notes. And the first announcement I want to talk about is our Every Age Counts Anti-Ageism Poetry Contest. I think Luke is going to put up a slide for you. There we go. Our contest is underway, and we're excited to see that entries are starting to come in. If you haven't sent your poem in yet, there's still plenty of time to do so. Share your positive aspects of aging, whether it's the pleasure of setting your own schedule, sleeping in whenever you want, enjoying time with family and friends, spending more time on hobbies, or trying something new, like writing a poem. The deadline for the contest is September 15th, and we'd love for you to participate. You can access the information packet at the address that you see on the screen, and it contains helpful hints on how to get started with your poem, some sample poems, and of course the official submission form. This program and contest is designed for people who have never tried poetry before. It's an amateur contest, so we encourage you to give it a try. Now, we had talked about at another time having a Cycling Without Age event here in Castle Rock on September 21st. But we've been told that motorized vehicles cannot travel on the trails in this county, and the Trishaw is partially motorized. However, you can still enjoy a beautiful ride along the Platte River and feel the wind in your hair, if you still have some, by contacting Barb Lots to make a reservation. And September is the perfect month to see the local landscape. Maybe you'll see some trees turning or some wildlife stirring. And one of Barb's well-trained pilots will pedal the Trishaw for you as you just sit there and relax. So you can make a reservation at cwalittleton.com. I'll say that again, cwalittleton.com, and request a ride by clicking on the Contact Us section. You can request a ride and arrange for a time and a date to do that. And spots fill up quite quickly, so I would urge you to plan ahead and get on there as soon as possible. Now, another fun activity to enjoy this month is the Community Open Air Market at the Parker Senior Center. That's going to be held on Saturday, September 11th at the Senior Center, and they're located at 10675 Longs Way. That's 10675 Longs Way, right there in Parker. And the market will be open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., so you have all day to drop by. There will be local artisans, crafters, vendors, garage sales, and much, much more. Concessions will be available for purchase so that you can have a little snack. And we hope to see you there. That sounds to be like a fun activity to do. That again is on September 11th. And now Tiffany Curtin, our education chair, has a brief library update for you. She'll share some information about our upcoming presentations and then introduce our speaker for today, Molly Woodhull. Tiffany?
Thank you, Gretchen. And Luke, if you can give me the capability to share some slides, I will share an announcement. Thank you. First of all, I would like to let you announce that many of you may have heard some rumors that the Douglas County Libraries, the Philip S. Miller Library, will be undergoing we will be building a new building, and the plans are underway for that. This new building will break ground in construction early next year. And once we have it completed, it will be 42,000 square feet for public access. And we are doing this to keep up with the growth in our county and in the Castle Rock area. If you have questions, we want to encourage you to come to the library and chat with any of our staff members about those new developments as they come along. But we are very excited about this new opportunity to have a beautiful new building for you. And now the education series for the rest of this year. In October, on October 7th, we'll be hearing from Dennis Del Pizzo, who will be updating us on the Medicare open enrollment and what we need to know for that. November 4th, we will be hearing from Jody Waterhouse, and she will be sharing what is coming to Anschutz Center for Aging in 2022. And then December 2nd, we'll have a presentation from Nathan Estrada of Nimble Science and his the Nimble Science tool app for preventing 1 million falls to keep us all safe and actually having fun while doing it. So, and for now, I would like to introduce Molly Woodhull from Woodhull Wellness. She is the founder of Woodhull Wellness, and which provides data-driven mindfulness and meditation techniques to help companies and individuals become happier, healthier, and more thoughtful and productive. Her certifications are from universities such as Duke, Stanford, and Harvard. And now I'd like to turn this back over to Molly.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, thank you. And hello, everyone. Yes, my name is Molly Woodhull, and I am really excited to teach all of you today about mindfulness and meditation. I think the goal here is really to talk about how we can incorporate mindfulness and meditation into our everyday lives in a way that feels realistic and meaningful and accessible to all of us. So what you can expect is we're going to talk a little bit about the difference between mindfulness and meditation if you don't really know even what those are. And then we're going to go into sort of talking about and then experiencing different types of meditation. There's sort of two different categories: formal and informal meditations. Formal meditations are the ones that maybe you think of, that come to mind when you think of meditation, closing your eyes and focusing on your breath. And then we'll talk about informal meditations, different types of meditation, non-traditional ways, you could say, to relax and to feel calm and to really meditate in a way that is different than you might expect. So I encourage you all to ask questions if you have them. Message Luke, the host, and he will sort of take care of those questions for us, and he'll ask at the end. He'll take a moment to read any of the questions that all of you have. So feel free to chat him. There's a chat box in the lower right-hand corner. If you have any comments or questions or concerns or an experience you want to share, I say this because, we're all sort of learning together, and oftentimes the question you have, somebody else also has it, or an experience maybe that you had could be similar to one of another participant here. And so it really just helps all of us learn. So if you're curious, ask the questions, and we'll get to answering them at the end of our session. So before we continue into this mindfulness and meditation talk, it's always nice to settle in, to take a few breaths, to move our awareness into the present moment and not think about what happened earlier today or what's to come. So we'll do a micro meditation. We'll inhale for 5 seconds and we'll exhale for about 5 seconds. So find a comfortable spot wherever you might be. You could be sitting on a chair. Maybe you're just getting comfortable. And then if it's right, you can go ahead and close your eyes. If closing your eyes doesn't feel like the right option for you, you can always choose to gaze a few inches in front of you. And I want you to take a thoughtful inhale for a count of 5. And a thoughtful exhale for a count of 5. One more time, inhaling for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then returning to your natural rhythm of breath. Slowly opening your eyes. And taking a moment to check in with yourself, noticing how you feel. Maybe you feel like you're going a bit slower in a nice way. Maybe you feel a bit more spaciousness, or you're ready to sit here and listen. Maybe your mind was wandering. That's all okay. Hopefully you feel a bit more settled. I always find it to be so powerful how just a few breaths changes the way that I feel. All right, so let's go to the foundations of mindfulness and meditation. What is mindfulness? What is meditation? So mindfulness is a way of being, a way in which we live our lives in the present moment, not ruminating about the past or fretting about the future. Really, we're just focusing on the task at hand. So to me, that really just means being able to focus on one thing without getting taken away by or distracted by all of the checklist items on our to-do list. But it's hard to be mindful because our minds are meant to wander. It's their natural tendency to do so. And that's where meditation comes into the equation. Meditation is the practice where we choose to focus on one thing at a time. We'll notice our mind wandering and we'll bring our awareness back. In meditation, we often choose a focal point or an anchor. A lot of people think of that being the breath, the sensation of the breath moving in and out, or counting the breath just as we did. But really, your focal point can be anything. It could be a sensation, a sound, a breath. It could also be a poem or a song. It doesn't really matter. The focal point is just something you pay attention to. When you notice your mind wandering and bring your awareness back to that chosen focal point, that is meditation. All of our minds will wander. That is normal and natural. But a lot of the time, our minds are wandering and we don't even notice it. So practicing meditation helps us to build that muscle of focusing on one thing at a time. And then we can live a more mindful life. We can be present in the moment, focusing on the task at hand, whether that's a conversation with a loved one or showing up for some sort of work thing. It doesn't really matter. It just means that we can focus there, bring all of our awareness to the important conversation at hand and not get too overwhelmed by something that happened in the past that we can't change, or something in the future that maybe we're nervous about. So there are different types of meditation and different types of mindfulness techniques, like I mentioned. So there's formal and informal. Let's talk about informal ways to meditate, to focus on one thing at a time, and informal ways to be mindful, to allow your awareness to be in one place without ruminating about the past or the future. Okay, so my first recommendation for informal practices is what I call joyful routines. So it has been proven scientifically that when we wake up in the morning, it can be the most anxiety-provoking part of the day from a nervous system point of view, from sort of the physiological perspective. When we wake up in the morning, our eyes open, all of a sudden, the body and brain start through a checklist of things that we have to do. You know, maybe something on that checklist you're not really looking forward to, maybe other things you are, but either way, it's very anxiety provoking for the body and for the mind. And so when we wake up in the mornings, we have a choice. We can either get out of bed and go straight to fixing those things, or calling the people that we need to call, or getting on our emails, or doing our errands, going to work. Or we can take a few deep breaths in bed, putting a hand on the heart and a hand on the belly, and just feeling the natural rhythm of the breath as you breathe in and breathe out. Even something this simple tells the body, tells the nervous system, everything is okay, and allows the body to move into rest and digest instead of fight or flight. So that's a really accessible way to meditate. You don't have to meditate for 10 minutes to feel the difference, right? We did a micro meditation to start where we inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. So I want us throughout this conversation to open our minds to the idea that meditation doesn't have to be sitting with our eyes closed for 20 minutes each day. It could mean just thoughtfully as you wake up in the morning, feeling into the rhythm of each inhale and each exhale. If you have space to grow this joyful routine, I always encourage you to think about something that you really love to do. Maybe that's making tea, drinking that tea and feeling the warm water boil, or when you're holding that cup of tea in your hands and you feel the warmth from the mug. Maybe that's making coffee or reading a book or playing with an animal or a pet. Maybe that's getting outside or being in the garden. But I encourage you to think about something that brings you joy in your day. And when you wake up, maybe after you take those few thoughtful deep breaths, go do something that brings you joy. Before you go to your calendar, before you go to your phone, before you do those errands or make those business phone calls, whatever it might be, take a little bit of time to do something that brings you joy. And when you choose to do this activity, allow all of your awareness to focus there. And when your mind wanders away from that activity, bring your awareness back. That is meditation. That is an informal way to build this muscle, to be able to focus on one thing at a time so that we can live healthier, happier, less stressed lives. And each time you do this, each time you take a few minutes to focus on your breath when you wake up in the morning, or each time you do that joyful routine and you pick something in your day you love and you focus all your attention there, you're growing your ability to focus one thing at a time. That is meditation. But it makes a physical difference to your brain. Each time we sit down and focus on our breath or meditate, focus on one thing at a time, it helps to rewire the brain. Our brains, this is really new sort of info, but we're starting to learn that no matter what our age is, our brains always have the ability to change for the better. We call it neuroplasticity, right? The ability for the brain to change and mold over time. And each time you focus on one thing at a time, whether that's the breath or your joyful routine, that can be tough for the brain, since your natural tendency is to kind of think about all the other things going on in your life. That represents adversity. So you'll notice when your mind wanders away from that focal point and you'll bring it back. And each time you do this, you build mental and emotional resilience, and you actually build more gray matter in your mind, in your brain. Physiologically, each time you meditate, you build that gray matter in your brain. The gray matter in your brain is in charge of a lot. It's sort of the processing system. It controls movement and memories and emotion. And it sounds sort of hard to believe that opening your eyes in the morning and focusing your breath for just a few inhales and a few exhales can affect your ability to move and your emotions and your memory, but it can. And so I want to encourage all of you to know that that is meditation. And doing those joyful routines, focusing on one thing you love and allowing all your awareness to be there, noticing when your mind goes to something else and bringing your awareness back, that is meditation. And that is helping to build your mental and emotional resilience and fortitude. It's continuing to keep that gray matter healthy so that you can have a sharp memory and communicate effectively. And it also helps relax the nervous system. It's telling the body, let's live in rest and digest. Everything is well. We don't need to live in fight or flight where our hormones are pumping through our body and we're trying to, physiologically, the body thinks stress is the same thing as sort of running from a tiger. Our stress is very different these days than running from a tiger, but the physiological response, the brain doesn't really know the difference between feeling stressed about an appointment that you might have with a family member or a friend or a doctor or work and thinking that you're running from a tiger. They both feel the same to the brain. So by taking those few informal deep breaths when you wake up in the morning and doing that joyful routine, you're making a big difference on the brain, the body, heart, and mind, really. Okay, so those are two examples of informal ways to meditate, informal ways to focus on one thing at a time, notice when the mind wanders, and bring your awareness back. A really great informal mindfulness technique is gratitude. So when we think about something that we're grateful for, it can be really tough to ruminate about the past or the future. So maybe even taking a moment now to think about one thing that you're grateful for. What are you grateful for today? Maybe it's something that you're grateful for in this very moment. Maybe it's a person you're grateful for. Maybe it's an everyday pleasure that you don't recognize, but that you're really grateful for. Cold, clean water. Homemade, fresh food. I do gratitudes each night, actually. I think it's a great way to go to bed feeling in gratitude and focusing on the positive things in life. Because just in the way that our brains try to multitask and protect us all the time, it's easy for the brain to ruminate on the scary or tough things in our lives. That's just natural. The brain wants to protect us. It wants us to be healthy, happy, and safe. And so the brain tends to ruminate on negative fears or negative thought processes. And so gratitude is a really nice way to sort of interrupt that natural flow of negative thoughts, fears, and feelings. And it can also give us a little bit of awareness that while it can feel overwhelming, our lives, they can in many ways. There's always something to be grateful for. And I think that always feels good. And there's definitely an effect on the nervous system there too. A reminder that all will be well can sound simple, but is very effective. Okay, so informal techniques. We've talked about waking up and taking a few deep belly breaths before you go on with your day. We've said waking up and doing a joyful routine, so finding something you love, focusing your awareness there, noticing when your mind wanders away from that and bringing it back to the activity. And we've talked about gratitude. I think those are three pretty solid techniques. There is one more that I want to say, which is micro meditation. So 1 breath to 1 minute of thoughtful breathing. That's what we did at the very beginning of this. We inhaled for a count of 5 and exhaled for a count of 5. Great technique. It's actually the most productive breathing pattern. And so something simple as that, just taking an elongated inhale and an elongated exhale, that is meditation. Even just one inhale and one exhale makes a difference. So I want everybody here to feel empowered that you are meditators and that you can do it, and that one deep belly breath makes a difference. So those are all informal ways that you can start to incorporate meditation and mindfulness into your everyday life. Formal meditations. So this is a different type of meditation in the way that it's a little bit more, it lends itself more to what you think of when you think of meditation. Okay. Formal meditation is often when you focus on the breath. The foundation of all meditation is actually the breath. Think about how important our breath is. We can live, a certain amount of days without water. We can live a certain amount of weeks without food, but we can't even live a few hours without our breath. And because it's part of our autonomic nervous system, we often think that we don't need to notice it, or that just however we breathe is right. But a lot of us tend to hold our breath during the day when we're kind of stressed, or we tend to breathe in a really shallow manner, sort of here in the chest, not allowing the oxygen as you inhale to move down and fill up the lungs and the belly. And so when we're not really aware of our breath, we tend to either, to breathe in ways that aren't very advantageous for the body or for the brain. And so in formal meditation, you'll find some sort of anchor. It could be the sensation of the breath or the sound of the breath. It could even be a poem. But you'll sit most of the time and you'll close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Focus on this same meditation for maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20 if you have the space. But I recommend, if you're interested in creating a more formal meditation practice where you sit and focus on one thing at a time with your eyes closed, oftentimes the breath, I suggest starting even just with 5 or 10 minutes. 5 minutes is absolutely okay. If we're talking about building a formal meditation practice, a practice where we sit or lie down and focus on the breath for 5, 10, or 15 minutes, I suggest that you get curious about a place in your house that you would like to do this a few times a week. So I have a meditation cushion I sit on, but you can meditate really anywhere. You can meditate on a seat, just sitting in a chair. You can meditate lying down. You can even meditate walking. So I encourage you to find a place in your home that feels comfortable. If that's your bed, that's great. If it's your couch, that's wonderful. If it's a chair in the living room, that's perfect. But find a place that's really comfortable to you, that feels warm and inviting and welcoming, a place you want to be. This could even be outside too. So if there's a place in your garden that you love to visit, that would be great too. So I encourage you to find a place. And when you meditate, and we'll practice one together, you can simply focus on the sensation of your breath, or you can download an app. There are many ways to get these meditations, but I think downloading apps or even listening to this recording would be a really great way to start your meditation practice. I'll send a follow-up email after this of some kind so that people can have resources to different places to get guided meditations, because I think that can be the best way to start a formal practice. So you can go on Insight Timer, and they have a website or an app on your phone, or you could go on Calm. They have a great one, both their website and a mobile app for your phone. And these are places where you can find guided meditations and sit in the same place each day or a few times a week. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. So today, I thought it would be nice to practice a formal meditation together. So I'll lead you through this formal meditation. And you really don't need to know anything. And I just encourage, we won't go too long, so I just encourage you to keep an open mind and try and follow along. And when your mind wanders, that's totally normal and natural. So please know that. Be kind to yourself. Your mind will wander away from our focal point, and with kindness and compassion, bring your awareness back. So the meditation that we're going to do today is called a compassionate spoken word meditation. And I think it's a great meditation because it connects with a lot of different types of learners and a lot of different types of just people in general. So in this compassionate spoken word meditation, we'll start by connecting with our breath, feeling into the sensation of the breath as it moves in and out of the body as we breathe. For some of us, this could be, the cold air moving in and out of the mouth or the nose, or the belly moving up and down. And so we'll start always, every meditation, we'll start by settling into the breath and feeling into its natural rhythm. Because as I mentioned before, breath is the foundation of all meditation. And so after we get comfortable with the sensation of each inhale and each exhale, we'll start to recite some compassionate words. And so there'll be a little bit of spoken word in this meditation. There'll be awareness of the breath. And then maybe we'll move our breath up into our belly and into our chest. And so it's sort of a dynamic meditation. I'll lead you through the whole thing, but it's a heavy anchor. So oftentimes people can feel like they can really let their awareness focus on this meditation. So that's why I choose it. And some people really love to simply focus on the sensation of the breath. Other people find that reciting words in rhythm with the breath is a heavier anchor, easier to focus on. And other people feel that they like to connect with their body, and so they like to feel the breath move in and out of different places in their body. So if you're a little confused, it's okay. We'll just go ahead and lead you through it, and then I'll give you a moment to sort of process how you feel, and then we'll cover a few more things, and then and let you have time to ask questions. Okay? All right. So find a comfortable spot wherever you might be, sitting in a chair. I do recommend both feet on the ground if you're sitting in a chair, just to help you feel sort of centered and connected to the earth. And you can sit up straight in your chair, or you can lean back, just getting comfortable where you are. And go ahead and close your eyes if you feel ready. Feeling your body in the chair beneath you, maybe your hands in your lap. Noticing your feet on the ground. And settling in here, I want you to find a place in your body where you most easily feel the breath moving in and moving out as you breathe. So for some of us, this could be the sensation of the cold air moving through the nose to the back of the throat. For others, it could be the sensation of the chest or belly moving up and down as you breathe in and out. And just take a few moments to settle into the natural rhythm of each inhale and each exhale. Breathing in and breathing out. Noticing when the mind wanders, simply bringing your awareness back to the breath. Knowing that right now you're exactly where you need to be. Give yourself the gift of being present here in this moment. Breathing in and breathing out. Bring your awareness to your belly as you breathe and notice how it moves on each inhale and each exhale. Filling the belly up as you breathe in. Allowing the belly to relax as you breathe out. And with this newfound awareness of the breath, I want you to recite the words, joyful, energetic body. Breathing in, joyful, energetic body. Breathing out, joyful, energetic body. So continuing to breathe in and out. Repeating the words, joyful, energetic body. Joyful, energetic body. Feeling into this fundamental truth that you have a joyful and energetic body. Feeling a new sense of energy move throughout the body as you repeat these words. Joyful, energetic body. And then let go of these words when you feel ready, bringing your awareness simply back to the breath, feeling the natural rhythm of each inhale and each exhale. Move your awareness of the breath into your heart center, imagining you can breathe in and out from the very center of your chest. Each inhale expands the chest, lungs, and heart. And each exhale relaxes any tightness or tension. Breathing in, expanding the chest, lungs, and heart, creating an openness or expansion here. The exhale, releasing all tightness and tension. Breathing in, expanding the chest, lungs, and heart. And breathing out, releasing all tightness and tension. And with this newfound awareness of the heart center, I want you to repeat the words loving, compassionate heart. Breathing in, loving, compassionate heart. And breathing out, loving, compassionate heart. Loving, compassionate heart. Expanding the sensation of love and kindness throughout the body. Loving, compassionate heart. Loving, compassionate heart. And when you're ready, you can let go of these words, bringing your awareness back to the breath, feeling each inhale and each exhale. And imagine as though you're moving the breath from the heart center all the way up into your forehead. Imagine you're breathing in and out from this place in your body. In yoga, this is what we consider the third eye center, just a pressure point in the body. And with this newfound awareness of the body and of the breath, I want you to recite the words reflective, alert, quiet mind. Reflective, alert, quiet mind. Breathing in, reflective, alert, quiet mind. And breathing out, reflective, alert, quiet mind. Reflective, alert, quiet mind. Continue to recite these words in rhythm with your breath. Reflective, alert, quiet mind. Staying here for just a few more moments. Reflective, alert, quiet mind. Allowing these words to fall away when you're ready and feeling a new spaciousness in the mind. Feeling alert and relaxed at the same time. And bring your awareness back to your breath and allow the inhale and exhale to be a bit deeper. Inhaling through the nose. An audible exhale through the mouth, letting it all go. Taking one more thoughtful inhale through the nose and out the mouth, releasing any excess tightness or tension. Bringing your awareness into your body on the chair once again, and your feet on the ground beneath you. You can begin to wiggle the toes and the fingers. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And taking a moment to check with how you feel. Noticing this new sense of peace and quiet or spaciousness you might feel. And know this sense of peace and calm lives within you, within your body, heart, and mind, every minute of every day. And all you have to do is take a few deep breaths. After these group meditations, I like to encourage everyone to take a moment to check in with themselves. So if you could give yourself a word or a phrase as to how you feel, now what would it be? How do you feel? Feel free to share it in the chat if you like. If I were to give myself a word, I feel a lot more grounded. I feel peaceful and calm. For me, it feels like everything kind of slowed down a little. So just as a recap of today, we talked about mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness is a way of being, a way in which we live our lives in the present moment, not ruminating about the past or fretting about the future. Really just being able to focus on the task at hand without getting taken away by all the other to-do list items on our checklist. Meditation is the practice that teaches us how to be mindful. It's a practice where we choose to focus on one thing at a time. Notice when our mind is wandering and bring our awareness back. And through meditation, we build that mindfulness muscle, the ability to be present, to focus in on an email that we're sending, or to focus on a conversation that we're having, or even to be here right now listening to this conversation without thinking about the past or the future. That takes practice, and there are ways that you can meditate both informally and formally. The informal ways for you to start meditating and build this mindfulness muscle is to wake up in the morning and take a few deep breaths. To wake up in the morning and have a joyful routine. Focus all your awareness on one thing at a time. Notice when the mind wanders and bring your awareness back. Another informal way to meditate and learn to be mindful is to do micro meditations, 1 breath, 1 minute of thoughtful breathing. And you can also take a moment of gratitude. So that's 4 informal to-dos, informal practices that can help you start meditating. So all those practices are meditation, and they're building that mindfulness muscle, the ability to be present. And we learned about formal meditations, a practice where we focus on one thing at a time, often sitting or lying down. I encourage you to find a comfortable spot in your house, a place you want to return to, or it could be in nature. A comfortable couch, a bed, a chair. You could even be on the ground. And there are many different types of formal meditations. I did one today called Compassionate Spoken Word. But I encourage you to re-listen to this meditation when you meditate each day, or you can download an app on your phone to help support your guided formal meditation practice, which would be, there are lots of different apps out there. Insight Timer is free. I think Calm is free. Headspace is free to a certain extent. 10% Happier. So these are all resources that you can have to help guide your meditations so that you don't have to simply sit in silence. Although if you want to, just focus on the sensation of the breath as it moves in and out of the body. You can also go to my website, woodhullwellness.com, and there should be some guided meditations there too. So I want to be able to support you if I can. And you can also reach out there if you have any questions ever. There's a little chat box or way to email me. So also you could email me at woodhullwellness@gmail.com. So the reason I say this is because I really want to be a support system for any of you. So if anyone watching this later has a question or comment or concern, feel free to reach out to me, because our connection doesn't have to stop here. So let's see. If anyone has any questions, I want to answer them. Luke, I haven't seen any, but maybe you have some. I'm going to hold space for that for a few minutes, and then we'll be on our way.
Just a reminder, everyone, that the chat box is down in the bottom right corner. You can open that up and send your questions to me, the host. Right now, no questions, Molly.
Okay, great. Yeah, there's no pressure. I think meditation and mindfulness can be quite a personal and introspective experience. So I understand.
I just want to say thank you, Molly, for this very refreshing experience this morning and guiding us through making meditation accessible and easy and meaningful to all of us. And it's something that I'm working on myself to be more focused and acknowledging my own learning distractions and connecting those synapses in my brain better. So thank you
Totally.
so much for your time and your presentation today. People can still pipe in with questions before Gretchen comes back with her final notes or comments to close this. But
Thank you,
Uh,
Tiffany. Appreciate it. I really do. It was fun to be here.
One comment that came through for you, Molly, says, I'd like to say thank you, especially for the informal meditations. And that was from
Mm.
Donna.
Good, good, good. Yeah. Informal meditations are so powerful. I think a lot of people tend to think that they have to, sit and cross-legged and go to be a meditator, but you don't. So feel empowered that if the way you want to meditate is through micro meditations or one thoughtful breath or joyful routines, that is totally legit and that you are a meditator. Feel empowered that that is true. Because I think that sometimes there are too many barriers to entry. We feel like we have to be these professionals. We got to sit for 20 minutes each day. And it's just like working out. It's just the same thing. We got to build that mindfulness muscle over time. And so if you even have an awareness of your breath each day, say you take a few thoughtful micro meditations, a belly breath before or after a hard conversation, or when you start to feel stressed or anxious. That is meditation. And maybe you'll start to have a deeper awareness of your breath throughout the days and throughout your life and throughout, you know, um, pretty much all the time. And then maybe a more formal meditation feels more interesting to you, more excited, more accessible. So, great comment. Let's see. Oh yeah. Yeah, the joyful routines are pretty awesome. My joyful routine is waking up and having coffee. I love making my French press. So I'll wake up and I won't go straight to my emails or whatever. And I'll let myself have that. It's 7 minutes, right? It's not even very long. But I am not on my phone. I'm not on any technology when I'm doing that. And sometimes I have a little bit of tea before I drink the coffee, but there's such joy in smelling the aromas of the beans and feeling the warmth of the coffee mug. And when we're rushed, when we're going so quickly every day, we forget that these small moments of peace and joy exist within our lives. And so if we can bring some awareness to them, I really think it makes a difference in how we feel for the rest of the day. And if you're not a morning person, you can do those joyful routines in the evening, maybe before you go to bed. So there's space for everyone to take these ideas and put them in your life in a way that feels accessible to you. I know some people aren't morning people, and that's okay. So maybe try it at night. Thanks, guys. That was good. I think we hand it over to.
Thanks, Molly. What you shared with us really is very helpful. First of all, I didn't realize that meditation builds brain cells. I know I could use more brain cells. So
It helps keep the good stuff in your brain healthy, so it's not leaving so quickly. It's not deteriorating. It's just the same as building muscles in the body. Yeah. How cool is that?
I found it easier to do than I thought it would be, and very encouraged to know that I can do micro meditations, that I don't have to plan on 20 whole minutes, which sometimes is hard to find.
Totally.
And that peacefulness and calmness is within us all day long. We just need to take a minute or two to access it. So thank you so much for all those insights and encouragement for us to go ahead and practice this more often. Thank
You're
you so
welcome.
much.
Thank you for having me.
So now that we're all peaceful and calm, we can think a little bit now what we're going to do the rest of the day. But I did want to mention to you that each fall, Medicare sets aside 7 weeks to gather updated information and compare our plan options for the year after. This, of course, is called the Medicare Open Enrollment Period, and it starts every year October 15th and ends on December 7th. And as Tiffany mentioned, we're going to have Dennis Del Pizzo come in from Medicare to give us some information that's going to help us make that very important decision. You know, Medicare changes from year to year. That wasn't the case when it was first introduced in the mid-60s, but it does change in that the deductibles can be different. Formularies, which is the list of covered medications, can change. Networks can change if you happen to be in a managed care program or a Medicare Advantage program. So it's very important to get the updated information so we can make a really good decision for ourselves. It may be that the plan we have this year is the perfect plan for us next year, and it's very reassuring to learn that. So it's a very important meeting for us, and as Tiffany said, it's going to be October 7th, 10 a.m. We always start at 10 a.m. So don't miss that. Mark your calendar for October 7th at 10 a.m. for that very important meeting. And meeting flyers will be going out later this month about that with a link to the meeting information. And so I'm going to ask, yep, there it is, the slide. Luke's right on the money here. Remember that all our meetings are recorded, as we mentioned. So if you'd like to view Molly's presentation again or have family members or friends who would like to see it, you can visit our webpage, mydugcoseniorlife.com. And please consider liking us on our Facebook page, My Dougco Senior Life, or visiting our YouTube channel for additional information on what we have planned for the next several months. So thank you for sharing part of your morning with us and experiencing some micro meditations with Molly. Be sure to join us next month. And as always, stay healthy and stay connected. Bye for now.